Welcome back to TalkersOfGeeks.com. Justin here, back with more anime reviews. Today we are going to be reviewing the anime, and wow, I can't believe I'm actually saying this. I never thought this would happen. Shenmue, the animation, episode 1, Thunderclap, and just a little small brief history for those who do not know what Shenmue is. Shenmue was a Sega Dreamcast game that came out, I believe, 1999. I played it. This is one of those definitive games that really showed us the capability of an open world game and the power of it. And today, I mean, does it really hold up? I mean, I'm replaying it right now because I finally got Shenmue 3. I'm probably gonna do a video down the line what the Shenmue series holds up, but we'll get into that later down the line. We'll move across that bridge. But for now, let's talk about the anime. Episode 1 is entitled Thunderclap, and as always, I give you a brief synopsis, so here we go. In Yokosuka 1986, Ryo, the only legitimate heir of the Hazuki Dojo, spends his training under his strict father. One day he returns and witnesses a mysterious man called Landy attacking the dojo. And this is not a spoiler. If you beat the game, you play the game, this will contain a little bit of a spoiler, so I can get a little cross with the review here. This episode 1 is basically covering, I would say, the first. I would say probably the first 2 hours of the game, or probably the first hour of the game, where of course Landy comes in and he kills Ryo's father, and we get a little bit more of, I will say, a little bit more examination of what happens before the event. Of course, Ryo is in the fighting competition. He wins. And, there's we get a little introduction to some of the NPC characters that we are really known for, beloved for in the game. And I just want to talk quickly about the animation here, because you see me grinning from ear to ear right now, because the nostalgia, it's one of those shows that is going to play with the nostalgia. If you are a fan, if you play the Dreamcast game, or even if you haven't played the Dreamcast game, if you're playing it now on your PlayStation 4s or your Xboxes, seeing the actual locations and seeing these certain characters that you know and love, if you're a huge fan of this, you're going to be grinning from ear to ear, because the animation here, the episode, they nail it. They absolutely nailed the spirit of Shenmue. They nailed the story so far. Even the title cards of, say, like, you know how when Ryo leaves a house and you see the loading screen and it says the day, the time, and everything, they even included that, which was just like, it was so amazing to me. I was just like, oh my God, wow. And as far as nostalgia goes, and maybe the first episode is going to be, I'm going to be praising it because of, mainly I'm doing this purely on nostalgia. But I thought the acting was great. I thought the animation was great. The fight scenes, for a little bit of it was solid. This one is little, I would say, is a nice introduction to it. It's not really getting into the real nitty gritty of the investigations. And I've seen comments from gamers, I've seen comments from anime fans. They're like, okay, is this going to be like a bunch of filler episodes of him doing the forklift 120 times? And I don't think so. I think they're really just going to streamline the game, and hopefully we'll be able to get an ending. But as far as story goes, if it's beat for beat for the game so far, the action scenes, it took some liberties. It did take some liberties. It did take a little bit to get up to, I would say it took at least a good, I think the father died around the 11th or 12-minute or 13-minute mark. It takes a little bit of time to get to the part of the actual game. So we do get a little bit of backstory on Ryo, his schooling, him, they establishing him as this great fighter. And I thought that worked very well to establish him and establish his school life as well. So we get to know a little bit more of Ryo here, and he gets a little bit more fleshed out in that aspects of it. But overall, this was great, man. I enjoyed the hell out of this. This was a fun show. I'm excited from a pure nostalgic standpoint because I was a big fan of Shenmue back in the Dreamcast version, and playing it now, it doesn't really hold up for me as much, but it's still such an enjoyable game for what it did back in the days, and just to see this in live action anime form, and this was actually a great way to really kind of transition Shenmue. I remember back in the days there was rumblings, like I think when I was younger, like a little bit younger. I'm 35 now, but I think probably my early 20s. I think there was little rumblings about, I think at least about 15 years ago, of them doing like a live action Shenmue movie to really adapt it. But this one, man, I'm enjoying this. This was fun, great animation, great voice acting, some really cool fight scenes here. A little bit more backstory on Ryo, and it's gonna be a blast, man. If you're playing the game, you're gonna notice locations, you're gonna notice characters, you're gonna be grinning from ear to ear, man. This is Justin from ToxicGeeks.com. What did you think of Shenmue? Leave a comment below, let us know, and we'll be back with more anime reviews. I know I got a whole bunch of stuff to cover to catch up. I'm finishing a couple of my scripts. I gotta take care of Imaginative Visions first, so I'm finishing up a couple of my comic book scripts, my manga scripts, because we're in production and development with at least 4 projects right now. So I'll keep people up to date with that on my other channel, Imaginative Visions. You can YouTube it there. So I've been a little bit busy. I'm gonna get back to the winter anime coverage. Don't you worry, and manga coverage is coming as well. So if you like what we do here, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And of course, you can follow us on all social media channels: Instagram at Tacos and Geeks, Facebook.com/The blog, Twitter /The and Geeks, and Twitch.tv/The Geeks. And I will get back to twitching soon as well. Like I said, I'm busy right now doing production on my comic and my manga and everything else. So it's a lot to oversee. So I'm out. Later days. I'll catch you on the next review. Peace.